Okay, so I just want to preface this video by saying I'm not an attorney and I'm not offering anybody any legal advice. This is just information to be shared. If you ever get pulled over in your car by a cop, a policeman, a policy enforcement officer, um, understand that the police, your city police station or department is a corporation. You could look it up on Dun and Bradstreet. The city that you live in is a corporation. Look it up on Dun and Bradstreet. The state that you live in is a corporation, listed on Dun and Bradstreet. Um, the whole thing is based on corporation and contracts. Now, corporations can't have any laws against you, a natural-born human being. They can only have statutes and codes for other corporations. What you have to understand is that you are a corporation, and it's your name in all capital letters. And this is basically it. So when the cop pulls you over, he's going to ask for this, or even stops you on the street and goes, "Give me your ID." You want to try and avoid giving him this because this is like a credit card. And when you hand it over to him, you're actually contracting with the police. You're expressing and conveying a security interest in your private property, your corporation. As soon as you hand this over to a cop, now they can search you legally. They can tell you to sit on the ground, put your hands behind your back, cross your legs, stand up, pat you down, go through your whole car, do whatever they want, because legally they have the right to, because you handed them your corporation. Their corporation is in their hands, so they own it. They don't own it, but they're starting to contract with you. And what they're going to do with your, I call it like your credit card. They're going to try and charge your credit card, and with anything they can possibly find. And there's over 6 million statutes and codes on the books right now. So basically everything's against the law, and the chances are pretty good they're going to find something to charge your credit card with. The other fraud is they're going to try and get you to believe that you're actually doing something wrong and they're in the right, and they have the authority to do what they're doing. When the truth of the fact is that they don't. And it was funny, but recently a Supreme Court justice came out and said somebody in government said that everybody that's in prison today is in prison voluntarily, and that's true. And because what you do is they get you to act as a surety for this corporation, which is the thing that they're charging. And if they get enough charges on there, that's money for them. They can bill that, you sign it, and it's a bond, especially if they send you into if they put you in one of their federal warehouses, and then they get big bonds. And I'm not saying people shouldn't be in prison. Obviously, there are evil people out there that need to be locked up. But I personally have knowledge of someone who was arrested, excuse me, and for 2 felonies and a misdemeanor. And because when he got into the system where they tried to book him, where they tried to do all the things, take your fingerprints, sign this, sign this, sign this, let me take your picture, he didn't go along with any of it. And 3 days later, he walked out of there scot-free with no charges on him. So if you know what you're doing, there are ways that you want to know how to handle yourself when dealing with these fraudulent corporations. One is, if you are arrested, they're always going to ask you, do you understand why you're being arrested? And you need to say, I would say, no, I don't, because they're not asking you, do you know what marijuana is? You know you're not supposed to have it. They're not asking you if you speak English. They're asking you, do you understand the charges? Do you accept the charges? They have to ask you that, and you have to voluntarily agree to it. Yes, I understand. So always, no, I don't understand the charges. They can't move forward. Well, what don't you understand? I don't understand the charge. And they're going to try and play their tricks, and they probably will still bring you in. Now, they're going to try and get you to sign some papers when you get to the station house. Don't sign anything. Tell them up front, I don't understand the charge, I'm not going to sign anything, and I don't agree, and I don't accept being incarcerated. Just those 3 words. I don't understand the charge, I'm not going to sign anything, and I don't agree to being incarcerated. Just remember those 3 lines. They'll see what you're doing, and then they're going to put you in a cell, and they're going to try and contract with you throughout the whole process. And another way they try and get you to contract with them is they ask you for your fingerprints. Now, your fingerprints are your personal property, and you don't have to give your personal property away to anybody if you don't want to. They're just assuming that they have the authority and the jurisdiction over you. They have the jurisdiction possibly over this corporation, but you don't have to contract with them if you don't want, because all contracts have to be two-sided contracts, and both parties have to agree. If if you're in a situation where you're looking at you're going into a court case, there are terms and things you need to learn about how to handle yourself in court with these judges and these attorneys. You can go to my blog. It's called stopthepirates.blogspot.com. I have like a 600-page manual that goes into all this. If you know anybody that's in prison, you're going to want to get them this information as soon as possible. You're facing charges. You're going to want to get this information as soon as possible. Very inexpensive. So that's what I have to say about that. Because the judges work for the banks, the courts work for the banks, and it's their job to extract as much money out of you as possible. And remember, it's a voluntary compliance. You don't have to comply. Do you understand the charge? No, I don't understand the charge. Remember, they're not asking you if you speak English. They're asking you if you will stand under the charges. If you accept the charges, are you willing to agree to pay for the charges? Because it's all voluntary. And again, my blog is stopthepirates.blogspot.com. I have a lot of good information about accepted for value process, how to set off and discharge all your public debt, because there is no money, and just good information. I think everybody in this climate, in this world, in America right now, needs to understand. You got to understand how the game is played, man. And we've been duped from day one. Because you know what? The bankers are the ones that set the curriculums for all the schools, and they don't teach us any of this stuff. And this should be taught in first grade, but it's not. You have to understand how not to contract with the police. That's what it is. It's a contract. It's not like common law or a law of the land. It's this international maritime admiralty law now, and it's the law of the water. It's the law of contracts. Everything is a contract. How you talk to a police officer. Cop pulls up in his car, you're standing on the street corner, he goes, "Hey, come here," and you start walking towards him. You just contracted with him. You look at him and go, "Can I help you with something? Is there something specific I can help you with?" "Yeah, come here." "Why are you accosting me?" You have to know how to ask questions. Never make a statement to a police officer. Always ask questions. Always. Never make a statement, because the one who makes a statement loses, and then you contract. Always ask questions. And never understand a charge. Never. And never talk to the police if you're under arrest. Never. Because they're not going to unarrest you. I sit there and I watch Cops on Friday night, and I go, God, these guys just blow it every time. The cop goes, "Come on, tell me what happened." And they blah, 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 blah. They tell them what happened. You just screwed yourself. You're under arrest. Shut up. I don't understand the charge. I'm not going to sign anything, and I don't agree to being incarcerated. Let's party. StopThePirates.blogspot.com. Thanks.